Hey guys, welcome to another session of FFBE Global News. So this week we have in our featured banner, we have two design fan designed units who've won the design contest. And as you can see here, whoever named these units gave them some awesome names, but I can't pronounce it. Malphasie, illustrated by Anku, and either Cirque or Circe, illustrated by Neostock. I'm gonna go with Circe, I think it sounds cooler. Two of the winning entries of the 2017 Fan Festa unit design contest. So congrats you two for these units. They look spectacular, and I think Gumi did a good job. I saw some of the earlier illustrations, and looks pretty good. Let's take a look quickly at this banner. Apparently we have a free 10+1 ticket, which I'll talk about in a bit, and when we get to that new segment there. But it's also a step-up banner. A 25,000 lapis for free-to-play players. For you to know that both of the units look pretty good. Nothing like mind-blowing good, I think, yet. But we'll take a look at the kits. But they're not limited, so it's up to you if you want to pull for this. If I do pull for this, I will say this right now, I think I will go for maybe 25,000 lapis. It's just to hopefully get one of each to start it off, but I'm not quite sure how hard I want to go for it yet. Taking a brief look at their kits, I'm not 100% sure. They're meta changing. They're just in the current meta right now. They're useful. So regular 25k, step up, Moogle, 4-star ticket there. Do we usually get a 4-star ticket? No, we don't. We usually get a 4-star unit on the banner, but since this seems to be just a double unit banner, you get a 4-star ticket instead. Okay, makes sense. So same thing. Step 3, guaranteed rainbow, must be out of all the pool. Step 4, 10% ticket, and then step 5, you get a guaranteed 25,000 lapis spent. It's a big one. So let's see if it's worth investing in. So Malphasie is seems to be a hybrid unit. Even just looking at the Super Trust Master and the Trust Master. But I do have her kit opened up here. Let's take a look at the Super Trust Mastery first. Raven Heart. So again, remember you have to pull 4 of them. So whether or not you really want that, I'm not quite sure. Attack and magic plus 40, and then attack and magic plus 20%, 10% MP, enables dual cast, enables Raven's Heart. Raven's Heart has increased physical magic damage against birds and demons by 25%. My feeling towards this STMR is that it's kind of trying to be a jack of all trades, like everything in one. In that aspect, I think that's kind of nice, but in another way, it might not be that useful going down the line. Just giving you guys a heads up on units going forward. It will be easier to cap your units. Now, hybrid damage units might be the only ones harder to cap in their attack and magic passives at the same time. This is thinking about units that need 400% attack and magic cap. When the cap gets lifted in global, it will be harder to reach, so this would be kind of nice, but it's neither here nor there. I believe Konshira's STMR is also an accessory, attack and magic plus 50, which like I said before, going down the line, you want your accessories or your equipment side, not your ability side, your equipment side to have higher stats. This will be more beneficial in the long run. So while this STMR does like everything in one, I would have to argue that it's not the best. It's not the best STMR. It's good. It's very good, but it's not the best for sure. So keep in mind on that. The Trust Master reward is also very weird. Hybrid damage for fist users. I can't think of anyone that's like meta changing that could really use it. Otherwise, it's very good all around. 110 magic and a 95 attack. So even if you just wanted this on a magic damage dealer, 110 magic itself is not small. 95 attack on a fist is not that bad either, but we do have like some things like a Gaea's arm and a Gaon's arm, and even Marquis de Lion. So Marquis de Lion is also gets a higher, I think it's 120 attack. You got Zell as well. Like so basically on a physical attack side, fists we have like all these choices. Leela's is dark, etc. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about the Trust Master itself. But let's take a look at the kit. We have some featured abilities here, but I do have the whole wiki opened up. I think this is data mined right now, so there could be changes, but it should be accurate. It should be accurate for like 90%, 95%. Let's see here. We got level 6 star and 5 star. I'll cover that first. Skills: Swooping Strike, Hybrid Damage 1.8 times to all enemies. Remove all status effects. Okay, to all enemies. So it's kind of nice to have a dispel if you need it. Hybrid Damage, Dark Damage 4 times to all enemies. And Flick Stop 30% to all enemies. 30%. Might be good for arena. Wind, Hybrid Damage 4 times to all enemies. This is all 5 star based right now. Inflict Confuse 30%. It's not that useful even in arena. Dual Cast. She comes with Dual Cast, so it's kind of weird that her STMR has Dual Cast. It's obviously that STMR is not really designed just for her, because it's just conflicting skills there. But Infection, inflict 1 status ailment, 30% to all the other ones, but 100% petrify to all enemies. So again, very useful for maybe like some story if you're grinding and you just want to rush through it. And mostly again, this is used for arena, but if you're a high-ranking arena player, you're not gonna meet many players with their units vulnerable to petrify or stone. Tenebrous Drive, hybrid. Okay, now this is where we're getting to it. This is where we're getting to the beef. 6 star, 6 star dark hybrid damage 8 times to one enemy, and then decrease dark resistance by 50% to one enemy. Add dark element to physical attacks for 5 turns to caster. It's a divine ruination chaining family. Wind hybrid damage as well as the same equivalent, 8 times, 50% reduction in wind, 5 turns to caster, for one enemy. So 5 turn imperil, and then 5 turn physical attack imbue. And also the divine ruination chaining family. Other than the elemental like variety in hybrid damage dealers, I would say that this isn't that good. Just giving you guys like a comparison. Fravia enhanced, by the way. Frostflower Blitz, if you dual cast it, or I mean dual wield it, hits twice. Also DR family, 10 times hybrid damage, ice, neutral, but then it decreases ice damage by 75%, ice imperil. But most likely Fravia will be using an ice sword, so you'll be doing the ice damage anyway. It's interesting, but the imbue itself is what kind of breaks it for me. In my opinion, if Malphasie does dark hybrid damage but doesn't actually imbue herself, that would actually be more flexible. It's in the case that you need to hit dark and you need to hit the wind as well. Instead of imbuing yourself to dark, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. You're already doing the dark damage, why do you want to imbue yourself to dark? Unless you're imbuing for something else. Let's take a look. Continue. Feast of Crows restores 10,000 HP to caster, mitigate damage 75%. 1 turn to caster though, and then remove stats break from caster. It's interesting. How is that going to be used? She would pretty much need to have a provoke, but she doesn't. Maybe some sort of illusionist Nicole combo with her, set up as a cover tank, but again, it's only for 1 turn. And we'll take a look. I think she has counters. I think this is why you want to do that. Hybrid damage 8 times to all enemies. This is called 1,000 Wings. Learned at level 100, 6 star. Tornado chaining family. So that's pretty good. That's a 12 hit, I believe. If you use 1,000 Wings, you get also 1,000 Wings plus, which then enhances to an 11 times to all enemies. Also chaining family. 11 times. Is it wind elemental? Doesn't say that. It just says hybrid damage. Okay, I see. Okay, I see what you want to do then. You want to go aerial dive or tenebrous drive, imbue yourself with that element, and then go 1,000 wings, and then try to get 1,000 wings plus. I see. That's interesting. But you would most likely want to partner up with a dupe Malphasie though, because you're running two different families, chaining families. Unless you have maybe for 10 man trials, this might be useful. I can imagine this might be useful for a tornado chainer, so you have anyone like Renoa, Rydia, any tornado chainer, Barbarizia, and then but you have divine ruination chainers, and let's say it's a boss with flipping between the physical and magic damage mitigation. That might be okay. So she might be like a 10-man king in that case. Two chaining families. Ooh, even more. Let's see here. 7-star at 105. She learns Fiendish Winds. Fiendish Winds. Sorry guys, this is early morning. Turbulence. So again, the Darkened Wind. So she's a Darkened Wind hybrid. Damage dealer is very clear. 11 times to all enemies, and it's Aurora Ray chaining family. Now this is getting interesting for me. 30 hits. I'm assuming if you dual wield her, she doesn't have a dual cast ability. I'm assuming if you dual wield her, all of this will be dual casted. For hybrid damage, that's usually how it goes, so it should be carrying the physical attribute of it. So killer should work. So that's something to keep in mind. Aurora chaining family. Aurora Ray chaining family will be very useful down the line. So she's not gonna stop at this meta. She has some of the most foolproof or future-proof chaining families go for, so that's pretty good. It's 11 times. You get that right away. So in a way, unless if you wanted to chain the tornado, you might actually just go with the dark these two skills here at 7-star. 30 hit Aurora Ray, that's really nice. Intense Rancor, so this is what actually we see here in the featured abilities on screen. 5-turn cooldown, increased physical and magic damage against birds and demons 75% for 3 turns to caster. Hybrid damage 26 times to one enemy, that's very nice. 1 hit though, so it's a finisher. Hybrid damage, so hybrid damage, the formula is complex, but in reality, you really want to just have that multiplier, and say that it's about the 13 times. So it's not groundbreaking, but a lot of units do have some similar sort of finishers. DKC, Nyx, they have similar modifier finishers for their physical attack on a cooldown skill. 99 MP, that's quite costly. Level 110, you get Birds of a Feather, as we can see there. 8-turn cooldown, available on turn 1 as well. Decrease, ooh, that's really good. Decrease defense and spirit by 74% to all enemies. It's a really good break. Increase LB gauge 10 times to all. Oh, sorry. Increase LB gauge plus 10 to all allies. Not bad. That's about, usually on average, about 1/3 of the LB gauge. But the break is very nice to set up for some kill shot. Some passives, increase HP by 10%, MP 30%, resistance to blind, sleep, confuse, and petrify by 100%. It's really good. Enables dual wield of one-handed weapons. Yep, so yeah, okay, so that's what I thought. Dual wielder naturally. Attack and magic plus 30% in this passive as well. Increased physical and magic evasion by 20%. Okay, so maybe you want to build her up as an evasion unit, possibly. That could be really easily achieved, especially if you're doing this as a sort of hybrid between a evasion unit slash hybrid damage dealer. You could go with 2 Ring of the Lucii, and that will give you 60% attack and magic, plus a 50% evasion, plus 20% of innate evasion, which gives us 70% right off the bat. That's really quick. You can actually make her an evasion unit. That's very interesting. MP recover by 8% per turn. Auto heal 60 HP plus 1.2 times a multiplier. Still a 6-star passives, attack and magic plus 50% when equipped with a fist. I see. Okay, so really her TMR, obviously of course with her trust ability as well, is really made for her. That's where I don't like that kind of TMR. I don't like the TMR where it's kind of just suited for one unit. Now obviously I might be missing some people that I'm thinking of right now. I know that Barrett's later in FF7, Barrett 4-stars TMR, I think is very heavy on magic gun. But guns, we're kind of used to guns being hybrid, but I'm not used to fists yet. But it's all really good. I mean, I accept, I really welcome some new kind of mechanics. So it's really nice that she has this, but it's just that her TMR is really limited to herself. Let's see here. At level 87, 6-star, increased physical and magic damage against birds and demons by 50%. So she's really focused on demon and bird killer. Very good. Later on in trials, we'll face the reborn of Dark Ifrit and Dark Siren, and both of them are hybrid demon beast and bird and demon. I believe. She might be good against Siren, Dark Siren. Let's see here. Chance to counter physical attacks 30% with Vengeful Sky. The Vengeful Sky is decreased attack and magic by 60%. 4 turns to all enemies. That's really good. And the hybrid damage 4 times to all enemies. 1 hit. This is very good. Very nice. So yes, maybe you want to have her as an evasion counter hybrid damage unit. There's a lot to play around in her kit here. Attack. So TMR trust ability is if you have her fist on, she has attack and magic 20%, equipment attack magic and attack and magic 30% when dual wielding. So TDW, and increase LB foot gauge rate by 50%. Well, let me double check. So she can wield daggers, swords, rods, and fists. So her TMR most likely in 1 slot, and the other one may be Bloody Moon's Glory of the Moon rod, or something like Sylvia's TMR or Drace's TMR, or even Fravia's TMR if you're not worried about that ice damage. Increased spirit by 20%, and then increased magical and physical damage against birds and demons by 50% again. So at the end of the day, if I'm calculating this correctly, with her buffs, she can get an easy 200% bird and demon killers, physical and magical, which is really nice. I believe if you have magic killers on your hybrid damage unit, it all adds up to the physical side anyway in the calculation, if I'm not mistaken. So realistically, oh no, but it's hybrid damage, so it still halves the killers. So yeah, okay, never mind. So she still gets 200 if you have her STMR on. Let me double check here. Yeah, if you have her STMR on, that's a right away 200% demon and bird killer without external sources of those. So if you had like a Diablos on or a Tetrasilphid with a bird killer plus on, right away you're maxing one of the killers. So that's really good. And it seems that she has enough passives right now in our current meta with a 300% cap to really get the most benefit from it. Like you'll cap her really quick. Let's see here. Murderous intent. So there's a linked skill. Where is this? Oh, it's the LB. Interesting. Okay, so the LB at max. I'm just gonna look at the max. 7-star unit. 140% attack and magic buff, so 3 turns to all allies. Very good. It's almost as good as CG Nicole's cooldown skill later in the future. 27.2 times hybrid damage to all enemies. So that's let me do the math here. That's 13 point something. Yeah, that's not bad. For an LB, that's not bad at all. And then enables access to Raucous Storm. Raucous Storm is hybrid dark and wind damage, 16 times to all enemies. Blind and confuse all enemies, and it's a tornado family chainer. 70 MP. All in all, I mean, so far impressive. I can see some uses actually reading the kit here, and I'm glad I deep dived into it. Hopefully that's been helpful. Let's quickly look at our next unit, Circe or Circe, however you want to pronounce her name. Is it her? Is it her? It's a female? Yeah, it's female. So both of them are female. So I would say right now, like off the bat, like just the Super Trust Master and the Trust Master. Circe's stuff is more interesting to me right now, But 164 magic, 20% MP, enables spiritual flux, and that's a LB fill gauge every turn. Once every turn, let me take a look at this. A 2 LB gauge per turn on a rod. This is really nice to have. But just, I mean, the Super Trustmaster. We've looked at a lot of Super Trustmaster rods lately. Wasn't Dragon Lords? Shantoto's wasn't. Actually, no, we haven't looked at too many, I guess, but this isn't terrible. This is still lower in base magic than Medina's STMR, for example, but the fill LB gauge is very useful. It could be useful for her. We'll take a look, and it could be useful for others. So I would say a really good one all around. Trust Master reward, Facade of Balance, 45 magic, so it's kind of like that Mystic Sash. And it also enables Fervor, which is again LB fill rate. So in my opinion right now, just looking at this, fill 50%. Her Trustmaster reward is going to be more useful than I would say Malphasie's right now, but albeit the magic, base magic is not that good. Again, there are better ones like White Knight Noel's Trustmaster, Christine's Trustmastery. But it's good. The LB fill rate plus that magic, I am assuming that she's going to rely on a lot on LB. Quickly take a look at her skill set here. She can equip staves, rods, harps, and maces, and daggers. Let's see how useful that is. And then hats, clothes, robes, and accessories, of course. Malphasie has the same thing for the equipment for armor, so I just wanted to get that out there. Let's see here. So it seems that's just a mage, not hybrid. Yeah, magic attacker, magic damage dealer. 5-star. She has way less skills, so that's really good. Oh man, that way I don't have to read too much. Fire magic damage 2.6 times to one enemy. Fill LB gauge by 5 to caster. Ice magic damage. Also the same mods, same amount of LB. These are called a predict. So I'm assuming you can dual cast this. Yeah, you can dual cast any predict skills twice in one turn. Learned at level 106 star, you can dual cast all this. Predict, Cyclonic Omen, wind and earth magic damage, 2.6 times to one enemy. LB fill 5 again, but this time is 2 elemental, and its chaining family is Quake. Chaining family is Quake. That's still good. Predict, Torrential Omen, water magic damage, 2.6 times to one enemy. Increase LB 5 again, and the chaining family is Flood. Missed opportunity here. Predict Cyclonic Omen should have been, in my opinion, broken down to earth and wind. If that was the case, I would say she's really solid, because ideally the wind would be a tornado chaining family, the earth magic damage would be Quake, and then she would have a Flood, and then she would be able to chain with a lot of units. But then the wind and earth, they're counter elements, so usually an earth boss has wind weakness, but then like resistant or absorbs earth damage, and then vice versa, flip. So this one's kind of a weird one for me. And then it chains with Quake, so you're forced to actually chain with an earth skill until you can find more Quake chaining families that are not earth elemental. So that's kind of weird. I think they did it on purpose, so she wouldn't be too broken, maybe. I mean, 2.6 times is not even that broken. It's not that strong for magic damage. Condemn, so this one you can't dual cast. Randomly use Downpour, water magic damage 9 times to all enemies, but that's a 15%, so it's all random. 9 times water damage to all enemies. Hit count is 12. Seems that it's a Flood. And then Sandstorm, wind and earth magic damage 6 times to all enemies. It seems that's a Quake family. Flash, so that's 25%. Another 25% is Flash Freeze. Ice magic damage to one enemy, inflict stop. Heat wave, fire damage 4.3 times to all enemies. Fire damage. I don't really like this. It's very hard to use. You don't know whether or not she'll be able to use this skill that you want to chain with, and without a chain, none of these skills actually have any promise. So most likely you won't even use it at all. Condemn. Predict Rapture. Magic damage 4.25 times, ignore 50% spirit to all enemies, so that's you multiply that by 2, so it's 8.5 times to all enemies. It's one hit. That's not bad. It's a pretty decent finisher, magic damage finisher, but it doesn't stack, but it increases LB gauge by 5. Clairvoyance is the dual cast skill you learn at level 100, and then 7-star you get a Death Omen. 6-turn cooldown, available on turn 1, 20 LB gauge fill to caster. Again, you can see this trend. I think you're actually really using her for her LB. Let's see what it is later. Increase magic 150% to caster. Yeah, so I was saying this before that most units going forward, and I think they're picking this up, most units going forward will benefit from their own self buff. Now, albeit it's a 6-turn cooldown, 3-turn buff, so she's gonna have 3 turns without the 150 magic, and she can't dual cast it. So I was mentioning this before that why Seaside Nicole is so good is because most units going forward will be able to buff themselves higher than someone like CG Nicole can, buffing the offensive side of the buff, so attack and magic. But this one won't really help. But someone like Axstar later on is able to dual cast his buff, 250% attack buff. So like someone like CG Nicole really wouldn't help much there. So Seaside Nicole is why I said that he's really good to pull for. Ouroboros. So 5-turn cooldown, available on turn 5. Magic damage 4 times to all enemies. Magic damage 4 times per turn for 3 turns to all enemies. What does that mean? Magic damage. Is that kind of like a poison? Because you can't cast it again, so it might be a continual attack. So you attack 4 times, and then for 3 turns they take 4 times magic damage per turn, like kind of like poison, I guess. HP loss per turn. Decreased spirit by 60%, 3 turns to all enemies. Decreased resistance to all elements by 50%. 3 turns to all enemies. It's not that broken that it requires a 5-turn cooldown and available on turn 5 though. You can keep it up after turn 5. No, you can't. It's 3 turns effect. Enables all-seeing eye, predict downpour, predict flash freeze, predict heat wave, predict sandstorm. Okay, so there you go. Ideally, you want to do this, so you don't have to use condemn to use the randomness of it. You can actually cast it, but it only accesses for 1 turn. So again, it's still very limiting. I don't see some redemption here yet. Increase magic by 30%. Rod mastery 50% when equipped with rod. This is traits or passives. Oracle's aura 10% MP per turn. It's very nice to have. She doesn't really use that much MP in my opinion. Increase resistance to silence, confuse, and petrify. Again, at least 2 of the very nasty ones, and then silence benefits for her. Oracle's path, HP and spirit by 20%. Here we go. TMR equipped. Let's see what we get. 50% LB fill rate. 20% LB damage. Seems like she's going to be an LB damager. Increased magic 50% when single wielding any weapon, or 50% when dual wielding. So it doesn't really matter which way you go. It's kind of good, but it's not equipment. It's not true true double hand magic though. It's not true double hand magic. Yeah, it's not. It adds to the passive. It's not the, yeah. Increase 30% spirit. Increase magic and MP by 40%. Increase magic and HP by 30% equipped with a robe. Yeah, Ouroboros, yeah, like I said, it activates all the stuff from your condemn, but only for 1 turn. So that's here. 7-star maxed LB. 24 times magic damage to all enemies. That's incredibly high. 40 LB crystal cost though. 4 hits. 4 hits? No, still broken. That breaks it for me. 4 hits is not a finisher. 4 hits is 24 times magic damage divided by 4. If you're not gonna chain it, you're gonna get a equivalent of what, 6 times magic damage finisher if you can actually cap it with 2 chainers in the team. It decreases all elemental resistance by 60% and enables for 3 turns predict downpour, freeze, heat, and sandstorm. So those good skills that you get from condemn, but you get it for 3 turns if you get an LB. Overall, I'm not really impressed with this one. I mean, reading this, I'm trying to go into my mind and trying to see where the use is. I would say that this unit then will be for Trustmaster and Super Trustmaster. So if I'm pulling this, if I will pull this on Friday, hoping for Malphasie instead, in my opinion, at least she has chaining families that are really relevant, and hybrid damage, you can gear them up with physical or magic damage, or both, and she has killers. So I mean, out of both of these, I would have to say Malphasie takes the cake, guys. If you're pulling for this, Malphasie is the winner. I would have to say this right now. Circe, STMR, TMR is good. Still, like, really weird. And I would say it's not enough damage, in my opinion, to really make it good. I mean, the downpour and the sandstorm are good. The downpour and the sandstorm are good. If you enable it either with her cooldown or with her LB for 3 turns, water 9 times damage. That's really high, and it's a flood chaining skill. Wind and earth damage, again, that's a hybrid magic damage. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Hybrid elemental 6 times to all enemies is still good. So, but hard to use. In my opinion, it takes too many turns to set up properly. And I think you can only max get 12 LB crystals per turn anyway. Like, it caps at 12. So you can't get any higher, and it takes 40 to actually unlock it. So that's my thoughts on this for now. And we have our raid event for this Fan Festa design unit contest. We have a trust you have a UOC ticket. I really like how Gumi is like, guys, you have a UOC ticket, man. Like JP barely now advertises UOC. I guess it's like not a big deal anymore. Like, people just expect it. But the Global is doing their job, trying to please the crowd. Thank you Gumi. But we have a raid. So it seems that in every single event you'll get some UOC tickets. Seems that way. 1 UOC ticket per event, and maybe 2. I don't know. 2 obtained from just dailies. I don't know. Haisiko bosses featured Darkness Awakenings raid events. Illustrated by Savior. Submitted an entry to win this design contest. So congrats, Savior. Most likely, I mean, these artists have probably not been watching my videos, but congrats to you guys. I mean, this is really awesome. This is awesome stuff. I'm really glad that there's a whole community of artists that feeds us this kind of new stuff. So I think in the future, these units might actually go to JP, I think. We've gotten a JP units in Global ported over, these design units, and so maybe it goes over. I don't know. Incarnation of Hatred. So let's see here. Get some coins. See if it is any good gear. Raven figurine. Very nice to have. Accessory free. Craftable. 25 attack. 25 magic. Not bad at all. Not bad. Half crescent rod. 80 magic. Boosts magic and MP by 15%. But Circe only. Ooh. Why? I don't like that. I don't like that. I think that it should be for everyone, in my opinion. Avian Cloak. Attack and magic plus 10%. Oh, 10, rather. It's a close. Nullify paralysis. Auto refresh. Or Malphasie only. But the auto refresh only for Malphasie. Empowered gauntlets. Light elemental fist. Oh, this might be nice. Light elemental fist. We don't have that yet. So another light elemental weapon to add to the bag. Bizarre sculpture, accessory, and big red ribbon as a hat. We don't know what those do yet. See here, obtain a 5-star ticket through the individual reward. So yeah, so just make sure you grind the raid, and you'll get this ticket. You won't miss out on it. Do we have any free summons, like unit summons? Nope. So we get some Moogles. You can get possible tickets. Raid summon. Yeah, no other units. I was hoping for some like another like raid unit or something. That would be nice. We get a free 10+1 summon for our Fan Festa units here. So again, I think that's only once. We got like 2 weeks to do this, so it's really good. Starting on this Friday, so tomorrow, you could pull it for free, and hopefully then you get one of the units. In my opinion, like I said in my banner review there, I would go for Malphasie, really. She's the one I would want out of these two. I don't think Circe really has a place for me at the moment. And we have Ability Awakening. So we have Lauren here. Now Lauren is going to be the one I'm going to focus on. Lauren later on will most likely be my full-time breaker, since I do have her up to an STMR actually. So Most likely she will be. With her Trustmaster equipped at 7-star, she'll be able to break as hard as Auron with her LB, and her LB is really darn fast to fill. It's a 74% break, like all stat break. And if you could keep just spamming that, it's just incredible. So she's definitely gonna go into the ability awakening. I think for me, full break +2 is probably the one everyone's gonna go for. I mean, you have a 5-turn break, attack and magic, and defense and spirit, armor eraser, and arms eraser +2, 50%, 5 turns to all enemies. This is kind of like Lid's break though, the dissolver. In my opinion, it's not really a big upgrade from Lid. You can't dual cast it for Lauren, so you can't dual cast both, whereas Lid later on in the future, she can dual cast her abilities. Full break plus is the one I think everyone's gonna go for. Full break +2, attack, defense, magic, and spirit, all 50% for 5 turns to one enemy. So it's kind of like, don't even bother upgrading arms eraser and armor eraser. The only thing is obviously what? That doesn't even make any sense. I'm looking at this right now. 45 MP for break all, full break, and then arms eraser is 48. So yeah, there's no reason to actually upgrade the other ones. They're all 5 turns, they're all 50%, and at least full break, you will actually damage the enemy, plus you can break hard. The only reason I think to upgrade arms eraser and armor eraser +2 is that it doesn't do any damage. So let's say for like Entangle or something, maybe, or someone that counters on a hit on a certain turn, but you want to break on that turn too, that might be the only place it's useful. But that's only if you want to use Lorne for that aspect. Later on, I think you can interchange Lorne and Lid if you do have both breakers. See here, Twin Blade General, HP and MP +20%, attack +60%, this is +2, and then defense and spirit by 30%, enables dual wielding for one-handed weapons. This is already what she has, so the increase is really the HP, MP, and then the attack portion, which is kind of nice. But anyways, that's pretty much the highlight for me in this one. I'm not quite sure about Duke's enhancements. I'm pretty sure they're good, and Roy's as well, but I don't know if there's any place for me for Roy at this point. I have Nicole, I have Seaside Nicole, and they do good jobs, and I just don't. I never really liked how bards are used, so no hate to those who love Roy and are bard lovers, but that's my thoughts on this. Lauren, 100%, at least get full break 2, maybe Twin Blade General 2. We have this rewards wheel feature. I just want to go through this. I mean, I played around with this morning. By I think 100 rolls, you get 5 per day. 100, which is 20 days. You'll be able to get 500 lapis at the end of it while collecting some lapis. Obviously, this is a win-win for both Gumi and us. We get free stuff while we're doing this, but they get advertisement money. And then just imagine, like, let's say like 1 million, or I don't even know how many people play this game. Let's say 5 million people play this game, maybe. Let's say all of them do this. Whoa, man, Gumi, man, you're racking in that money. Again, good for us. I had bad RNG on this, but the best prize you can get is that 100 lapis there. Very nice. I mean, imagine if you get to 5 100 lapis pull on that day. You must be really happy. 500 lapis a day. But no, I would say that on average, people getting 10 lapis ones, and maybe the 2 times energy pot ones. Yeah, hopefully you guys get lucky there, but I didn't. I will really quickly go through this. I mean, we have these new trials, Brachium in a 10-man. I'm gonna have to take this on soon. Really good hat. 50% magic hat with LB fill with confusion resist, I believe. Double check. Yeah, confusion nullify it completely with LB fill. So you want to get this for sure. The missions, evoke 3 Espers. That's probably the most difficult part, but it's not that difficult. Defeat Brachium with an Esper and defeat within 30 turns. Again, just like usual, 10-man trial. I'm not gonna go through the how to fight. Is it her? I'm really bad at this, guys. Him. Really bad at yeah. So I will take this on ASAP. So make sure you take a look at the loadouts video that will accompany that trial video as well. 3-star Esper unlocked. Make sure you guys, if you guys haven't seen this part of the news, hopefully you have, Fenrir 3-star is available now. I think in the next batch, we're going to get Odin, Leviathan, and Phoenix all in the same batch. According to JP, I think those 3 are the next ones. They're hard. I mean, Phoenix is easy, but Fenrir relatively is easy. So it's kind of like consider this a break. And again, I won't really go into this, but he does ice and dark damage. He does single target death. Make sure you bring an elemental magic tank. A physical provoke tank, and I think he does have accuracy buff, so that means your evasion might not work. You want to bring a beefy tank for that. Overall, not too difficult trial. Hopefully I'll beat it really quick, but again, after you watch this video, make sure you check out the loadouts for this Esper and the trial itself. This story continues, so free Lapis, and this is just more of a reminder, no other information here, but let's make sure you do this, get your free Lapis, and get to the polling this week. And I believe that is all the news. I may have missed some things which I think that are not as important for this news session, since this is a long one again, of course. What do you guys think about the units? Are you excited for them? Again, like I said, they're not limited units. It might be nice to, if you're a collector, pull on the step up, hopefully you get one of each. But they're not like, you know, oh, must have it now. Like, even if you get them to a 7-star, they're not as game-changing as some of the 7-stars released this week. So like Ayaka, Mercenary Ramza, Nyx, for example. These units are not as game-changing yet. So I would highly recommend, if you have a limited budget, make sure you know what you're doing going into this, because it's not limited. This is might not be worth it, in my opinion. Especially Circe. I am very disappointed at the kit. A very hard to use unit. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you guys watched my previous Theorycraft video, I talk about the possible Valkyrie profile banner might come to global, highly likely. But don't take my word for it. That would be a next collab, which means another raid, which means it will be a couple weeks away. But just make sure you guys are looking at your resources, looking at the tickets you have, and make sure you're polling wisely. Anyways, as always, that is it for this one. Hopefully it has been helpful. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.